Hi, this is Cheryl St Pierre of Majestic Wire Artworks. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this sweater shawl pin or necklace. If you put a chain in it, then it makes a very interesting necklace like that. And this is specifically meant for lampwork beads, lentil shaped lampwork I can't talk today. Lentil beads, lampwork. There we go. So, nice way of showing off those beads that you get. I have so many I need to use. I should have used them sooner, and I forget all the artist names, so I hope they forgive me for not mentioning their names, because I'm going to show you a couple more beads just to give you advice. Okay, so let's begin. These are the tools you're going to need and supplies you're going to need to make this project. You're going to need your round nose pliers, your flush cutters, and your chain nose pliers. You're going to need your anvil, which I just have a piece of metal that I got from a machining shop, and a hammer. I'm going to be using the ball peen part. You don't necessarily have, you could use a normal hammer and just use a flat part. That's your preference, or if you don't have the tools. And you're going to need approximately 10 inches of 14 gauge wire, and 10 inches is 25 centimeters in metric. You're going to need 2 feet of 20 gauge wire, which is, the 14 gauge is 2 millimeters thick, and the 20 gauge is 0.8 millimeters thick, and you're going to need 2 feet of the 20 gauge, 0.8 millimeters. You're going to need 2 feet of it, which is 60 centimeters in metric. Okay, and then you're going to need your lampwork bead. And I just wanted to discuss the lampwork beads just a little bit. Now, if you're going to use it as a necklace and a brooch type pin, you're going to need a bead that looks good this direction as well as this direction. This is a lentil bead. I recommend using lentil for this project. And now this design is meant to sit this way, so it would be perfect for the necklace. Although it doesn't look that bad this way either for a pin, but some people would prefer just to keep it like this. And then this bead, I would only recommend it for a pin because it's got like a little aquarium in there, or there's like a Sea World, plant. And so sitting it this way, kind of, it's not meant to sit that way, it's meant to sit this way. So anyways, that's what you need to consider with your beads, something that looks good both ways if you plan to make it versatile. Okay, so let's begin with taking your 10 gauge, which is 2 millimeters thick wire, and your round nose pliers. Now, I have not hammered this straight like I did with the other video because I want it hopefully to be easier to work with. Because I've been having issues with my wrist. I hurt myself making that one and been having issues off and on since. So I haven't made many videos in the last little while because I've been having issues with my wrist. So this is so that it hopefully doesn't bother me. So I'm going to hammer it after I do the worst part of the bending. Okay, so I'm just going to take the biggest part of my pliers and make a circle, and I'm gonna, because it never curves the end part, see how it's straight, I'm gonna cut that part off, put my hand over it to catch it. Okay, yeah, because you don't want that flying in your eye. That would not be good. And okay, so like that. And now I have to change to my chain nose pliers to grab it. I'm going to go this way. Oops, sorry. Thought I was in the camera. I guess I wasn't. See, and it is proving to be easier for me. Okay, so now, see, it still has that bump there. I'm gonna, at that bump, I'm gonna take that as my cue to spread it out a little bit, as in having a space there. So it kind of hides it, and I want it closed up a little bit more than that. So you want space for the pin to anchor in there, and that's a good space. It might be too big. You can choose. It can be altered later on too. So I'm just gonna take this and squeeze it and just a little bit closer. Okay, so I like that look. Now it's ready to hammer. I'm just gonna hammer that with the ball peen part, and I'm gonna pause while I do that. And I'm also gonna hammer this straight for the bead to sit on. Because once the pin's made, you won't be able to do that. So I'm just going to pause while I hammer. Okay, so I've got that hammered look there. It looks good. I only did it up to there. Now I'm going to hammer, take it this way, and I'm going to hammer this straight that way and that way, get it all straight, because I don't have to bend that part. There, that didn't take much. Okay, so now I can put the bead on. So it's going to sit about there. And then we're going to decorate it with wire. And you can choose to go ahead and finish the pin and decorate it afterwards, or you can decorate it first. If you decorate it first, then you don't have to think about measuring it. And you can actually decorate it up here where you've got more accessibility, and then slide it down. Again, that's your choice. And you could choose to start on this side or this side. If you choose to start on this side, yeah, I'm going to start on this side. Okay, so I want you to take your 20 gauge wire, 0.8 millimeter. And again, I'm going to state 2 feet of it, which is 60 centimeters. Find the middle, bend it in half, and just going to wrap around here. And I'm just going to cinch that up together with the pliers. Okay, so that's the intro, and now I'm going to push this underneath and make it so that the 2 wires are together, and we're gonna do some swirls now, decorative swirls. Now I'm going to give you license to do it however you choose. You can follow what I do, and I haven't planned this ahead of time. I'm just going with the flow and making some swirls, decorated swirls, just for the anchoring part. And I'm just going to come around this way. So I've got just like a double swirl there, or a swirl and a half. And now I'm going to go, because we want to anchor this bead to sit straight. So I've come around the back, and I'm going to show you the back. So it's like that. Okay, and now I'm going to push this bead up closer. And I'm going to do, I want it to be nice at the back too. I'm going to do a swirl behind the back just to keep it in place. Okay, so it looks like that from the front, and it looks like that from the back. And now I've got the bead flat with that, pushed up, and I'm going to wrap around this wire. So now that bead is anchored nice and firm. Okay, now I'm just going to do some swirls around here, just freeform swirls. Whatever you wish to do. You can do it long, you can do it small, you can introduce beads in there if you wanted. I'm not doing beads. Whoops, sorry, hit the phone. Okay, and now I'm going to go around again. I have to straighten that out. And you know what's nice about this? If it doesn't turn out, I can cut it off and start again. If it looks good, you keep it. So really, no pressure, guys. Just have fun and play with it. And it's spread apart there. So I don't think you could duplicate this really if you wanted to. And you just be happy with what you make. So I have plenty of wire here to do some extra play. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to snip it off at this point. I have a couple of inches left here, like 2 or 3. And I'm just going to snip it off to about 1/2 inch. I'm going to wrap it around the base here and come back up, actually, there. And I'm going to snip it off about there, and I'm going to do a little bit of spirals. You don't have to. You could snip it off right there and anchor it right there if you don't want to do spirals. I like my spirals, and I just want to do that today. So, and that's what it looks like so far. I'm going to move this out of the way here. So that looks nice. And so I'm saying to you, the space that you're going to need if you're doing it ahead of time, I mean not doing the wrap till afterwards, you're going to need 1.5 to 2 inches, which is approximately 4 centimeters. It will limit you. See, when I do this without it done ahead of time, I'm not limited in space. Although I could push this together and make it smaller, which I just did. It messed it up a little bit, but that's okay. And again, if it ends up you're not happy with it, because it's not extremely time consuming. I'm not going to do a fancy spiral because my wrist is tired. So I'm just going with the flow and doing it as best I can with my wrist as weak as it is. Okay, so there it is. Okay, and the spirals, you want to keep them, this is going to be the inside of the pin. You kind of want them on this side because it's protected then from grabbing onto things as quickly, but you know, it's not gonna, it's pretty safe there. It's pretty good. Okay, so then the next thing to do is to do your springy swirl, which you want to do right, push your bead up there and just do a double loop. So once, and you want to make sure that it's large enough that your chain can go through. Really, it's just one loop like that, right? It's really 1.5. And I'm going to push this up so that this can go underneath. And you want it to have that spring. So not too much. Okay. And then you, once it's at that point, then you cut it off about, everybody's going to have a different amount of length left over. So, yeah. Cut it at an angle. And then I'm going to hammer that as well. And file it. Oh, I forgot to mention a metal file. You'll need that too. But I'm going to hammer this flat. And then I'm going to give it the hammered, yeah, I'm going to give it the hammered look as well. Don't always, a flat look is just fine. But I'm going to pause for this and so that you don't have to listen to the noise. Okay, so I hammered it flat. And then I gave it the hammered look afterwards too. So I used the flat, I used both ends of my hammer. Use this first and then the rounded, just to give it that look. And this is just round, normal, not hammered, and that's how it looks. Now the next step is to make sure there's no burrs here that'll snag fabric. I mean, you wouldn't want to do it with a t-shirt knit. This goes through a sweater that has a larger knit, like you would do a handmade knitted item. So, and then you just file until it's nice and feels safe. And mine really didn't have much for burrs, so it didn't take much, but yours might need more work than mine. Okay, so that's done. There it is. That's the back. Huh, it flipped over. There we go. And you know what? The back looks fine too. Back is still pretty. Okay, there it is. Lovely. Nice way of showing off lampwork beads for all you lampwork artists. And interesting necklace. There we go. Thank you for joining me in this video. And God bless. And we will see you in the next one. Bye for now.